What are you going to do with your life? Why are you on this earth? What's your purpose? And what is purpose even? These are important but hard to answer questions for any one of us. So today, I'll make it a lot easier for you. Yo, what's up guys? I'm Moreno from The Authentic Man, and today we are going to talk about purpose. Purpose is essential to our lives. We all need something to dedicate ourselves to. Without it, we lack meaning. Everything feels kind of bland and hollow. I've experienced this myself over the last couple of years when I hadn't found my purpose and didn't know what I want to do with my life. I constantly felt like I was missing direction and asked myself, okay, like, where do I want to go? What do I want to do with my life? Is this really it? Who do I want to be? And everything I did, all the friends I made, all the jobs I took, all the cities I moved to, it was all fun, but I constantly had this nagging voice in the back of my head that reminded me that I hadn't really found what I wanted to do. I hadn't found anything I wanted to dedicate my life to. And then once I made up my mind and once I started exploring my purpose, I felt a difference, and it was like day and night. All of a sudden, I had a reason to get up for in the morning. I was excited for the day. I was burning for something. I was putting in hours and I enjoyed working on something. And I'm not the only one. There are tons of studies that have shown that a clear purpose and something you dedicate your life to leads to greater motivation, productivity, and even a longer life. It just makes your life better on all levels. However, finding it isn't that easy. If I just ask you, hey dude, what's your purpose? You wouldn't have an answer to that question, right? Else you wouldn't be watching this video. So instead, I want to ask you 4 different questions that have helped me find my purpose and that will make you see the issue from different angles and get you to yours step by step. How can you save the world? This world, it's messed up. There's wars, racism, climate change, poverty, all people being lonely, animals stuck in animal shelters, and the education system is messed up. And this is just something, from the top of my head. I could probably go on with this list for hours. The world is fucked up in so many places. So today, I'm asking you how you can make it a little bit better. How can you save it? This is the first question I want you to think about, because when you contribute to something that goes beyond yourself, it gives your life meaning and fulfillment. And not only is there a lot of research to back it up, but this is what I have found to be true for myself. And this is the experience I've got, that as soon as you contribute to someone else's life, as soon as you make other people's lives better and make the world a better place, you feel a sense of meaning and fulfillment. You feel important. You can make a difference that you have lived. And this is what this question is all about. Think about what is messed up in the world and what you actually care about enough to do something about it. Because there will be a lot of issues that are messed up but you don't care about. There are a lot of issues that are really fucked up, but I don't care about enough to change something about it. Politics is an example. It's completely messed up, but honestly, don't touch me with that shit. Like, I'm out. Keep in mind that you won't save the world single-handedly. You won't. Nobody can do that. But you can start small and you can make a difference. What did you love to do as a child? I'll explain why in a minute, but first let me tell you a little funny story about what I loved to do as a kid. See, when I was a little guy about 4 or 5 years old without a beard, I was terribly, terribly interested in volcanoes. I watched tons of documentaries about them. I looked at picture books. My grandpa even made a little volcano about that size, maybe out of clay that you could blow into and it would spew ash and everything. It was awesome. And one day at kindergarten, I took a little chair, put it in the middle of the room and climbed on top of it. And all the other kids gathered around me because, whoa, there was something going on, you know? And I gave a speech about volcanoes. I told them everything about it, like how the magma comes out of the Earth's crust and turns into lava and everything. Then halfway through it, I apparently got bored with the whole thing and just looked at them and said, ah, you're too thick to get it anyway, and walked off and probably went on to smear my face with mud or something. So why am I telling you this? Because what I loved to do as a child, I still immensely enjoy doing today. I still love to educate myself, to stand in front of people, talk to them, talk with them, help them solve their problems and educate them. That is why I'm doing these videos right now. You know, as a child, you do things just for the sake of doing them. There's no ulterior motive involved. It's not like your kindergarten teacher pays you to paint a picture or to play with a toy. You just do what you want to do. And as a result, you gravitate towards your natural talents, your natural strengths, and your natural interests. But the problem is, this part, this childlike curiosity and joy, gets sucked out of you as soon as you get into school. As soon as you get the grading system, you've got an ulterior incentive to do something. You know, it's all about good grades. And when you're working, you're mainly doing it for, the benefits, the money, the status, whatever it is. And as a result, you end up in a job you don't like more than 50% of Americans. And it's all because extrinsic motivation in form of money or benefits or status replaces intrinsic one. And this is why you have to reconnect with the inner child and find your purpose. This is why you have to ask yourself what you enjoyed doing as a kid. What pain are you willing to take? Everybody would like to be a rock star or a super rich entrepreneur who has so much money he doesn't need to work another day in his life and can just spend it all laying down on the beach and soaking up the sun. If you offered that to people, most of them would take it. So why are there so few rock stars and rich entrepreneurs? It's because your dreams don't matter. What matters is what you're willing to do to get there. You know, there are two sides to every coin. Everybody has his cross to bear, and you have to ask yourself what kind of cross you can or want to bear. The rich entrepreneur, he had to deal with years of uncertainty. The hotshot lawyer, who makes tons of money and drives a big fat BMW or Ferrari, he has to work 80-hour work weeks. The artist who's famous all over the world and whose paintings sell for millions, well, he has had to deal with years and years of rejection. So there's always a pain you have to take, and you have to ask yourself what pain you are willing to take. Can you work long hours? Can you deal with uncertainty? Can you deal with rejection? Are you willing to not care about what other people say about you? Whatever it is, get clear on that, because the pain on the way is what gets you to your destination. It's not your dream. Your dream keeps you going, but if you can't take the pain, well, there's no way you'll ever get to where you want to go. Which cognitive principles do you enjoy? Well, the less fancy version of this question is what makes you forget to eat and poop, but we're all trying to sound smart here and shit, so, I rather went with that one. No, jokes aside, there are tons of things that will make you forget time, a good movie, a good video game, things like that. And you literally forget to eat and poop while you're doing that. But It's not so much about the activity itself, but more about the cognitive principles behind it. When I was a teenager, I I loved video games. I spent literally 2 or 3 years of my life in front of a computer screen, just like going through the whole night, going to bed at 8 in the morning, waking up at 4 in the afternoon, and going through the whole cycle again. This was like 2 or 3 years of my life. I lived it. I didn't only love it, I lived it. So why am I not doing something that has to do with computer games right now? Because yes, I love the games and the fun, but what I actually enjoyed, the cognitive principle that was behind it, was optimizing. When I played games, I always strive to do things as efficiently as possible. I loved optimizing stuff. And this is how I got into personal development and why I enjoy it so much. Because I love looking at something and thinking about, okay, how can I make this more efficient? How can I make this better? How can I make my own life better? How can I make myself happier? So this is why you have to not only look at the activities you enjoy, because that's what everybody tells you, right? They're telling you, oh, you have to do what you love to do. Well, no, that's not the whole story. You have to look at the cognitive principles behind them. So, for example, video games for me, they were about improving, optimizing. For you, they might be about problem solving. Maybe you enjoy a certain sport, but it's not so much about the sport, but about the teamwork and getting together with people that's behind it. Maybe you enjoy cooking, but it's not so much about tasting stuff, but more about the creativity and the free roam you have and the things you can try. Maybe you like to experiment with stuff. So this is really something you have to ask yourself. A, of course, what makes me forget to eat and poop? But B, and this is the more important part, which cognitive principles are behind that I enjoy? Okay guys, what I really want you to take home from today's video is that finding your purpose is a continuous process. It's not like you ask yourself, okay, what is my purpose? What am I going to do with my life? And then one morning you just wake up enlightened with the answer served on a silver platter. That's not how this shit works. But that said, you can ask yourself 4 specific questions to make the whole process easier for yourself. And the answer won't just like jump at you. It will be a continuous process, but with every time you go through it, you'll get closer and closer. And these 4 questions really help you getting sort of a broader view instead of just one specific question that is really hard to answer. I started out as a writer. I just started writing on the internet, and it took me a lot of time and tons of times asking these questions until I found out, okay, I actually want to coach people. I want to work with them face to face and help them solve their problems and help them live a happier life and a life with more direction. So don't fret if you answer these questions and you still don't know what your purpose is. It is a continuous process, but you have to start at one point. And this is what I want you to do right now. Take action. Get a sheet of paper, write down these 4 questions. I'll put them in the description down below. Write them down and answer them as best as you can, and then see how you go from there. But the important part is really take action now. Do it. If you found today's video helpful, please drop me a like, subscribe to my channel by clicking the button down below. And if you're interested in more content around living a meaningful life, finding your direction, and building better relationships along the way, then check out my blog, subscribe to my newsletter, or connect with me on Instagram. I'll leave the links in the description down below. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Take care.